So today, we are making another delicious chickpea recipe. And let me tell you, I've received a couple comments telling me, bro, why do you make so many recipes with chickpeas? And I'll give you two reasons why. The first one, chickpeas are the most eaten bean in all of Spain. And the second thing, I absolutely love them. However, in these recipes, you can always substitute them for either white beans, kidney beans, or even pinto beans. Anyways, the dish we're making today is Spanish chickpeas with beer. This dish is known in Spain as Garbanzos con Cerveza. And let me tell you, the flavor of that beer, which by the way, we're gonna cook off the alcohol, gives this dish the most incredible depth of flavors. Folks, not only is this recipe super easy to make, but it's all done in just 30 minutes. And with that first spoonful, it's gonna warm your soul with so much goodness. Let's begin by heating a large fry pan with a medium heat and adding in 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 45 milliliters. While the olive oil is heating, I'm going to roughly chop 1 small onion, roughly chop 6 cloves of garlic, and roughly chop 3 tomatoes. Then we'll add in the chopped onion and garlic into the pan with the hot olive oil. And we'll mix the ingredients around, that way they're coated in that olive oil, and we're gonna go for about 3 to 4 minutes here. After about 4 minutes, and the onion is nice and translucent, I'm gonna add in 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, which is about 2 grams. And we'll give it a quick mix, that way the cumin is evenly coating the garlic and onion. And let me tell you, by adding in that cumin right now, it's gonna make it super fragrant. Then we'll add in the chopped tomatoes. And we'll continue to mix this together, and we're gonna go for another 4 to 5 minutes. After about 5 minutes, and the tomatoes are lightly sauteed, I'm gonna turn off the heat in the pan and leave the mixture to sit here, that way it can slightly cool off. In the meantime, let's get the rest of the ingredients ready. I'm gonna drain 2 15.5 ounce cans of chickpeas, which are 440 grams each, into a colander. And we'll rinse the chickpeas under some cold running water. And like I always tell you, when you're working with canned beans, this is such an important step. That way later on when we add them into the pan, they can absorb all the flavors in the pan. And we'll also crack open a bottle of beer. This is just a standard size bottle. I'm using a Spanish beer for this recipe, but you can use whatever type of beer that you like. But let me tell you, by using a Spanish one, it's gonna give this dish that authentic Spanish flavor. All right, let's move back to our vegetables. At this point, they're slightly cooled off. I'm gonna transfer everything into a food processor. Along with a 1/4 cup of the drained chickpeas, which is 60 grams, and 1/2 cup of vegetable broth, which is 120 milliliters. Of course, you can also use water here if you like, but by using the broth, it gives this dish a bigger depth of flavors. Then we'll season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll run the food processor between 30 seconds to 1 minute, or until we end up with a smooth puree. Then we'll heat the same pan with a medium heat. Add the puree into the pan, along with the beer, and pinch in a 1/4 teaspoon of saffron threads, which is 0.17 grams. And we'll give it a mix, and then simmer it between 4 to 5 minutes. This is enough time for the alcohol in the beer to cook off and for that saffron to really infuse into the ingredients. As always, the saffron that I'm using is from Golden Saffron. You'll find a link where you can get some in the description box below. After about 5 minutes, I'm gonna add in the drained chickpeas, and we'll season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it one final mix, that way everything's evenly mixed together. Then we'll add in 2 bay leaves, place a lid on the pan, and we'll lower the fire to a low medium heat, and we're gonna simmer this for about 10 minutes. This is enough time for all the flavors to develop and for those chickpeas to have a beautiful melt in your mouth texture. After about 10 minutes, I'm gonna remove the pan from the heat. We'll transfer some of the mixture into a shallow bowl, and we'll garnish it with some fresh parsley. Check it out, our Spanish chickpeas with beer is done, known again in Spain as Garbanzos con Cerveza. Beautiful presentation, incredible aromas coming out of it, and once again with that first spoonful, it's gonna instantly warm your soul. Let's give it a try and see how it turned out. As always, folks, now it's time for the moment of truth. Let's see how this turned out. Here we go. Check that out. It is absolutely gorgeous. So good to talk with your mouth full. Seriously though, it instantly warms your soul. And as for the flavors, that beer with the saffron and cumin, it is an out of this world experience. Folks, try this at home, serve it next to a crunchy baguette to mop up all that goodness. And of course, a cold beer, you're gonna have yourself one of the best meals ever. Really quick before I go, shout out to a couple of my patrons, Edward J. Garrison, David Houston, Britt Saunders, Tandy Irvin, and Paul Whitfield. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. Leave me a comment below. And as always, don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on a Fork community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego.